They were so driven. They played their roles of whether it was a mother or a vaishya, whether it was an ashram or whether it was a position. Everyone was content. They were content because the remuneration was right, firstly. Remuneration has to be there. No one's going to work or execute or do hard work without anything. So in the sense of bhakti or in the sense of a temple environment, my hours of service is going to be going towards my spiritual bank account. I will reflect it on myself, I will reflect it on my mind, and I will see my progress that I'm making when I'm reading Nectar of Devotion. I can see, am I still at Anartha Nivriti, or am I somewhere higher? Am I at Bhajana Kriya? I can tackle it and place myself in a position. But that's because I'm getting spiritually rewarded. In the material sense, everyone needs to be rewarded. So King Prithu made it so that his citizens were both balanced, spiritually and materially. By doing this, the public were just so happy. And when they're happy, their society grew. And when everyone has a common purpose, that's the thing. Everyone needs to get on board and have the same purpose. Let's all be kind to our fellow man. Let's all be kind to our fellow woman. Let's all have the same purpose at heart. You know, if we can come to that agreement, then surely that we can resemble what Prithu Maharaj had, King Prithu had, because at heart, the benefit to this is that those leaders, including himself and his ministers, as it says in Bhagavatam, they all gained liberation. Because it was based on their Nishkam karma. It was based on their activities that they were performing. So their roles as great leaders, using their masculine energy, using their drive, using all of that. But they channeled it in such a positive way that they were able to see the results in their people. They were able to see the results in their economy. They were able to see the results in their bank account or in their family's happiness or whatever spectrum that we're going to rate our happiness on. It would all be excelled on, because oftentimes devotees are like, no, we shouldn't rate material enjoyment or material success as part of it. It's okay if my car breaks down every day when I go to the temple. It's not okay. It's not okay, dude. You shouldn't be driving your family around that car. Go scrap it. Get a new one. Get the best car. These are devotees you're putting in that car. Take care of their lives more importantly than you would take care of anyone's lives. So we need to have the change of mentality. We have to practically think that we need to be the best in society. Bhaktivinoda Thakur had his own train line that would come to his house. It wasn't like Bhaktivinoda Thakur was being frugal and telling the British Empire, no, it's okay. I will take the rickshaw or I will walk to work. No, he didn't do that. He's like, put all your money down and give me the best that you can provide, because not only did he have self-respect, he was able to use his self-respect to respect others. He treated himself properly. You don't treat yourself properly. You don't treat the loved one around you properly. It's not going to go very far. If you always are neglecting your health, your sleep, if you're always struggling to wake up for Mangalarti, and then you're driving your children to sleep, to work, or to school, falling asleep behind the wheel, and you kill everyone, or you go, or something else happens, not to say it in a negative way, but you spend a weekend with such powerful sangha, and you just deplete your sleep and all the other energies, and then you decide to get behind the wheel and think you're invincible? Who on earth do you think you are? You think you're Superman? No. No one gave you that right. You do not have mystical cities. Get real. You need rest, you need recuperation, and you have to take care of those Vaishnavas around you. If we don't make this important, then we see what happens, unfortunately. Krishna is hurried. He will take these things away from us when we aren't grateful for having them. Sadly enough, that's the case. If we want to build these relationships which are so important and so pertinent to us now, then we can slowly try and work with it. We all have mothers, we all have sisters, and we can try and get off those energies. We can try and do some life courses, but also pick up on their energies, pick up on their kindness, pick up on their sweetness. I mean, we know the 5 types of relationships Krishna likes. Yeah, we know about Shantya, we know about Dasya, we know about Sakya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. Can anyone in this room tell me the progress of this chart? And where do you think masculinity fits in this chart? I would say it's down at the totem pole. It's nowhere near Madhurya Ras. We're all aspiring to have this loving relationship with God. That's the essence of what we want. That's the essence of our stages of bhakti. That's, in essence, everything. But we're holding on to something so tightly because we're identifying with the body. We're constantly doing that. Yet we're not looking at what the scripture says right in front of us. It's Sakya comes before Vatsalya. Being Krishna's friend is before I have that loving relationship as a parent. Because a parent has more concern and more love. The friend could sometimes want to bump Krishna, or fight with him, or wrestle with him, or show that masculinity. The higher you get in the stages, the less of it's required. Right? So, if we see it in Shastra, if it's evident there, if we see it in leadership, if we see it in the corporate or political environments, then surely it's applicable to the religious environment. Surely we can take lessons from there and just learn so that we can progress. Essentially, I'm not perfect, but neither do I want to be a pessimist. I'm here to see the brighter day, see the brighter future, and try and go back to this initial line where I was saying, our work, our material work in this world shouldn't have to be material work. It can be spiritual work. The spotless Puranas can aid us in all these lessons, and it can make our day-to-day lives so simple and so pure and so easy, actually. We won't think of things as work. We'll all be successful. It's a given right. Krishna will bestow this upon us. Sometimes when we listen to Christianity or Christian sermons, we're like, wow, these people shout so much, and they seem to be making false praises or false blessings to people. Yeah, the Lord will save you, the Lord will bestow His energy on you, and the Lord will give you essentially everything you want. And Vaishnavas, we think, we don't want that because it'll provide more material entanglement. But we do need that. If we don't have any money to come to the Sangha, I would have been depressed. If I didn't have any money to go to India, I would have been depressed. If I had no money to put on the lights at home so my family can live or eat, I would be depressed. So we need to take care of the material things. We have to be real now. We have to take care of those needs and supersede the basic needs. Have it on a point or on a level where we're so comfortable that we have no concerns. Our only concern is bhakti from that point on, is where we sit with Krishna. So we do this little material work, like it says in the verse. As long as we incorporate devotion, renunciation, and the key thing is transcendental knowledge. Simple, 3 things. So we have maybe some money, but we renounce. We know it's for our family. We can leave it for our family. We know it's there to aid them. We know it's there to aid us. But we're not attached. Our devotion, we grow and we learn to be more loving and caring, and maybe we build some of these feminine qualities. And transcendental knowledge, we just read and engage in sadhu and sastra and community. And then our material work becomes second nature, and we become really good, and we become excellent leaders to one another. And then our ISKCON can just be this shining bright light at the end of the day, which it already is, but I just want it to shine even more, and I want to give all of these young men here our futures, where our kids will come into, and we can just excel together. Forgive me from the bottom of my heart for offenses I've created, if I've said anything wrong or to hurt anyone, or for my, just minimal understanding of scripture. I'm just someone who's here and who thinks that this is our time. And Prabhupada's my granddad, and we have to try and please him. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Anyone has any comments or questions? Hare Krishna?
You're hired.
You're hired.
I'd also like to say that I recently did a folio search to try to see if Srila Prabhupada used the word patriarchy. I could not find it anywhere. Someone can maybe do a bigger one and find it, but I couldn't find it. Because the dictionary definition of patriarchy is one person lords it over everyone else. You have all the power and no one else has any. And that's not our philosophy. You can see that Srila Prabhupada, he didn't use that word because we don't lord it over each other. Rather, like you were saying, masculine energy has some powers, feminine energy has some powers, and we do power with, not power over. And I was really appreciating, ladies appreciate the good masculine qualities. We appreciate when you're responsible. Prabhupada used that word as an adjective for men over and over and over again in Bhagavatam, responsible men. And we appreciate your muscles. We appreciate all those, positive qualities. And you were saying how maybe you men need to get some of the feminine qualities. I think that you already have them, and you have to stop suppressing them in each other. Because, the Kali Yuga perverted patriarchal model is those, Harani Pashi Putai people who want you to be all like them and just have, anger and power. And so they encourage you not to have those kindness and tolerance and all those other kinds of energies. And you suppress them in each other. So if you want to bring them out, part of it is to not use the negative masculine energy to suppress your own feminine energies and the energies of each other. So I'd like to just encourage you.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. I completely agree, Masaji. When the energy is used correctly, I'm going to use just my history. I remember Nelson Mandela when he came out, actually before he came out of prison. It was around 1987, 1988. And the public by then were already intertwined with his life, and everyone is aware of his whereabouts. He was released from prison, but he was under house arrest at the time. But the society, the country was at that boiling point where we could feel freedom is imminent. And we're all going to be able to interact with one another. I could go to any beach I wanted to. I could get a driver's license. I could get a passport. I could go to any doctor. I could go to any school. I could sit anywhere in the bus. I could get on a bus, for firstly. So there were so many things that we were just grateful for, the little things. But his mood was definitely one of sharing is caring. And when he came out, he didn't hoard all of this power. He shared this power with his comrades. He shared this power with the public at large. He empowered South Africa. Back then, the South African exchange rate to the rand and dollar was 1 South African rand was $2. It was more powerful than the US dollar. The man just empowered everyone. He gave back. He was like Parikshit Maharaj almost. He empowered everyone. You see that energy flow back. And when you feel that responsibility and that caring nature, and it's used in the right way and challenged in the right way, it's so dynamic. But also, yes, he was in tune with his feminine side 100%. Because he cared so much that he didn't want civil war. So the same person that locked him up in prison, that mistreated his family, that killed his uncle, that killed so many of his family members. He didn't want harm to come to them. He didn't want to retaliate. He could have easily. But he signed the nuclear treaty. South Africa had nuclear weapons, small arms, arms that were enough to take down white cities in the country. That's what we thought was going to happen. We thought Mandela's going to take power and he's going to nuke these predominantly white cities. That was the ANC's plan at the time. That didn't happen. Instead, what did he do? He destroyed all our nuclear weapons. The first thing he said, in case he was assassinated, he said, in case I'm going to be killed, the first thing I'm going to do is take these things away from anyone so that no harm will come to these other living entities, to these white people. Because at the end of the day, it was just from past karma or from bad parenting, from an old school or old mentality. But I'm not going to hold these people now. I'm not going to put justice upon them. So he had a lot of tolerance and a lot of kindness. Thank you for your kind words, Mamaji. I'm not hired though.
We need to quit because it's 9 o'clock and the session starts at 10.
Sorry. Okay, last one probably.
Thank you for your class. It's just one thing that you mentioned. Eventually, it kind of got me triggered inside. It's when you said that everything has to be practical and cynical in a way that logical. So it's more of a man point of view. Of course, how can I say that? I see that most of the times there is a lack of emotions connected to this. And I'm not going to say that there's a lack of emotion understanding in the scriptures, but there's definitely a need for emotional intelligence and understanding of things, because sometimes some people will try to prove a point, they're going to use some words, and then the person is going to be, thank you, the person is going to be thinking that this person is trying to say something, and then this person will cut the person right away and say, that's not what you should do, blah, blah, blah. And that's that's one thing that really makes me so frustrated, because sometimes a person just wants to say something, and as soon as the person is understood, they're just listened by another person, then the problem is solved, And man in general tries to fix things. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this, and just, just listening is actually a lot more enlightened than just fixing manually things. That's just one thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I definitely sense that when I made that statement, it was for those people who have understood the issues at hand, and they're coming from a real place of care. So the reason they're only even taking up these roles of trying to decipher the changes that need to be made is because they're coming from a place of love. So as long as it's originating from something that's paramount, where it's originating from, it's so important that it's loving and caring. Then if you're trying to logically break down what's right and what's wrong, and you're trying to be more like, pragmatic, then maybe it's justified, I think, a little bit. As long as the origination